Hello once again, everybody. Hi, Lord Tamberlane with another Obscurity in Miniature. Today we've got the Gloomspite Gitz Loonboss, or the moon with a big pointy stick walking on top of talking mushrooms. So this is one of the clamshell packs for, the new goblins. Well, they're not new. Do I have enough upper body strength to tear the package apart? No, let's just cheat and do it that way. Alright, so what do we got? Other than a moon-headed goblin in armor. So, looks like most of the base is going to be one piece with those mushrooms. So I guess if you wanted to use, well, close enough. There's the cap to it. Looks like if you wanted to use the mushrooms for something totally different, it wouldn't be really that hard. What does he consist of? So, I'm surprised. I figured the head would have been a separate piece. He almost looks like he's clockwork with the way the armor is so ramshackle. Doesn't look like he's going to be very complicated to build. Doesn't look like he's going to be very large after he's built either, but, you know, he is a goblin. For whatever reason, my son has become quite interested in playing with the goblins, mostly because of the squigs and the trolls, but, you know, he probably should have a couple goblins to fight off my lizards and whatnot anyway. So, I'm going to grab some clippers and we'll snip this sucker out and see just how he stacks up. Shall we? We shall. Alright, we got our Loonboss all put together. Not that he was very complicated or anything. A couple things I wanted to point out real fast. So we did glue at least... Oh, no, we're not gluing you to the base yet. I went ahead and glued the mushrooms onto the base itself. I figure they're not going anywhere. They should be simple enough to paint. Mushrooms do have quite a bit of character. You can see the little tentacled faces on them, or at least the one there. The roots growing. We've got the face on the other shroom. And not a whole lot going on in the back. That's okay. There'll be enough of a pain to paint. Interesting thing about this guy is that there is actually a face underneath his mask, believe it or not. So underneath the helmet itself is actually two separate pieces, and inside there, and you can see his little ears poking out, there's actually a completely molded face with a mouth and everything. So I don't know, I guess if you were in a mood to somehow convert it open visored mask, you could possibly do that. And but I mean, otherwise it's pretty simple. You can see he's got the mushrooms growing on his back there. Very well armored for a goblin. I don't have any modern goblins outside of the ones that came in the Squig Herder box, which I have not gotten around to building yet. Hopefully that'll be up soon. I did find an older Night Goblin, and you can see at least that there's not a huge discrepancy in size. Then again, this guy is supposed to be the boss, so I would imagine he's a little bit bigger. From my understanding, the newer Night Goblins, and goblins in particular, are actually smaller than these guys. So, I don't know. Let's go ahead and attempt to attach him. So there's just like a little triangular space in the bottom of one of his feet. One of his feet. We're going to pretend we know how to speak the English language here. So you can see him on his base. Let's see. And stacking him up with some other GW figures. Well, it's interesting, I guess, with his base. Oh, there is quite a bit of height difference going on there. Now, in his defense, he does have a rather large head. And for some reason, my Dark Oath warrior from the Godsworn Hunt is going to hang out now as one of my stand-in GW figures. Actually, they're pretty close in size, too. So, yeah, you can see here, I know, obviously, that mushroom is giving him a whole lot of height. Nice three-dimensional shape, and it does take up a good bit of real estate. I don't like how the seam, I'm kind of surprised that the seam on the joints runs straight up and down the middle of the body. It seems that with most of the GW figures, I know at least with this guy as well, he has kind of that weird zigzag pattern of how the pieces come together, where it's a bit of the front of the chest and the back of the torso, and it's all kind of interlinked. We'll stick a goblin there. So, given his mushroom base, I mean, that does give him a nice little bit of leverage over the other figures, so he does look a bit more imposing, and I'm assuming if you've got tons and tons of goblins all over the place, you're going to want somebody to stand out as a leader. And grabbing our Troggoth we've put together here, we'll see how he stacks up. Of course, the Troggoth is going to be a lot more imposing anyway. So, overall, nice, simple little kit. The price, well, if I was going to actually be the one paying for it, I probably would have postponed it because I'm a bit of a cheapskate when it comes to little guys like goblins. He was actually a gift. My parents picked it up while they were overseas in Copenhagen visiting my brother who lives in Japan, and they happened to be nearby the GW store in town, so that's where he came from. So thank you, GW Copenhagen. Thank you, parents. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for watching. This has been High Lord Tamerlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying bye-bye.